We begin today, Chapter 9, a new section. What have we done till now? We've established that we have two souls. First soul is a part of God that has 10 components, 10 aspects, 10 powers that have three garments of self-expression: thought, speech, and action. Then we said La'umas, the opposite is, the mirror opposite is of the animal soul. It also has intelligence and emotions. And it is of klipa. It is a klipa. The animal soul is of klipas noiga, that is an admixture of good and evil. And the engagement in this world, for the most part, will be with things that are an admixture of good and evil. And depending on what our intent is, we either bring it up or we downgrade it. To the extent that there's certain things that are usser, that are prohibited, that are bound, that cannot, that even if you have the intent to serve God with non-kosher food, for example, it's bound, it cannot be upgraded. And that's what we've learned till now. We go into, after the first 8 chapters, having a understanding of the makeup of who we are. We now have to go into understanding, what are we doing here? What does God put us here? What does he want from us? Chapter 9, one word, nilchamas, battle. We won't get into it so much today. We're just going to speak now about the players. Who's on first? What's on second? Who are the players? Well, we just spoke about them, actually. So the Alter Rebbe explains that the animal soul that it derives from klipas noiga, the admixture of good and evil, its main place of residing is in the heart. Therefore, it's predominantly emotional. That's what we speak about a Yetzer Hara. Parenthetically, the Alter Rebbe doesn't say this, but sages speak about the evil inclination because it resides in the heart. And specifically where it resides is in the left ventricle of the heart. Why in the left ventricle of the heart? Because it's full of blood. And that's where the animal soul resides, in the blood of the individual. Just like blood gives vitality to the entire body, so likewise the animal soul gives vitality. Now, it doesn't literally reside in the blood, because if you got a blood transfusion, you don't get a different animal soul. But that's its place of where it's occupied. Now, from the heart, just as the heart pumps blood into the rest of the body and gives vitality to the rest of the body, so from the heart, it also now rises and spreads through the entire body to the brain, right? The animal soul goes to the brain. And what does it do in the brain? From the desire, the lust that you have in your heart, the boasting and self-absorption that we have in our heart, and the anger that we have in our heart. If you have a lust for something and you don't have it met, you get upset, you get angry. So where does it go from there? It goes to the brain. Why does it go to the brain? Because now you want to meditate, think about in your thoughts on how you can cunningly get that which you want, that which you desire, that which you lust or want to have as a fulfillment for self, right? And then that goes to the rest of the body, that now the rest of the body works in unison to get that which the heart's desire of the animal soul begins with, right? So again, the dominion of the animal soul is in the heart, left ventricle in particular. From there, it as the heart circulates the blood to the rest of the body, to have the desires of the animal soul's lust, boastfulness, self-absorption to be fulfilled. Then it goes into the rest of the limbs of the body, beginning with the brain, thinking about how you can cunningly get that which you want, and then having the rest of your body in unison to fulfill, to get that which you want, right? That's the animal soul. But there's also another soul, a complete entity, a complete being that we have called the divine soul. And its main place is in the brain. It's in the brain, and it extends to all limbs of the body. And in particularly, it extends to the heart also, but the right ventricle, not the left ventricle, which is basically without blood. It has blood, but it's not where it gathers. And that's what it means, the heart of the wise man, meaning that it is in the right ventricle, that it's not based, it's not about the lust that's in the heart, which is again in the left, but it is in the right ventricle of the heart. What does it mean that it's right? So from the mind, or the mainstay of the divine soul, it extends to the heart with a fiery passion for God, as opposed to the animal soul, that it's a lustful desire for what one desires. That it comes to have from the discernment that a person has, from the understanding, the discernment that they have in their heart, that comes now in their mind, rather, of the relationship that we have with God, understanding and knowing God, that leads to a feeling in the heart. And what's important over here is, it sounds like we have two beings within us, because we have two souls that we're talking about. And it sounds like each one is living its own reality. And indeed it is. However, and today it's a very short class, we will see that living this reality is indeed not a separate world that they're living, but there's an engagement. And that's where the battle comes in. What that means, that battle, tomorrow's class. Short class today. What is the chiddush over here? So we have two complete beings in us, so to speak. One that's based in the heart, and therefore it's about the self-absorption of the individual. Therefore, the desires that a person has, the lust a person has, is what is its motivation that leads to, as the heart pumps blood into the rest of the body, to gain the entire individual to be engaged in that self-absorbed, self-directed engagement. And then we have the divine soul that's in the brain. And from the brain, it also extends to the rest of the body, first to the heart, and there to bring the awareness that the mind has of the relationship we have with God, of the Chachma, Bina, B'das, wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. It brings into the heart to become fully aware, feeling in our heart a presence of God, a desire to cleave to Him, and as we will see what that means in the engagement in the battle. That's it for today, folks. Linda, good morning from New York. Brian from Alexandria, Virginia, good morning. John from North Carolina. Susan. Thank you. Today's Jewish Pride Day. Okay, wonderful. Greatest pride we can have is to live a Jewish life. The teachings of Tanya. Yeah, and from Mexico, good morning. Denise, New York. Natalie. Thank you for joining. Manuela from Germany. Good afternoon. Elaine is with us from Georgia. Susanna from Miami. Erica from Norway. Kelly from Houston. Flavio from Brazil, if I recall correctly. Lioness from Palm Beach. Shalom. Jane from the Illinois area. Boker Tov. Maria. Shalom. Irene. Thank you for joining. And good morning to you from Brookhaven, Georgia. Rachel from New Jersey. Mark, good morning. Sean, good morning. And Alice from Baltimore. Ahmed from, not certain where, but thank you for joining. Mark Lozata from Poland. Tony from Costa Rica. Susanna from Boca. Lianosh from Israel. Shalom. And Justin from London. Dev, good morning. Deborah. We have with us Martin from Kenya. Shalom. Okay, very nice. On Instagram, Karen from California. From Egypt, we have with us. All right, thank you for joining. I didn't catch your name, but thank you for joining. From South Africa, Sebastian. Gabby from London, welcome aboard. And that's what I can make out so far. All right, folks, we will continue the engagement in tomorrow's class, God willing. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you for Chabad Zich and Kadeshim in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and pleasure to share with you, Tanya. Have a wonderful day.